And thinking about wide receiver, like there's a top of the group wide receivers, like it's two of them, and it's like the middle characters, and it's like the guys at the bottom that's like fighting for their life for real. And that's interesting because prior to George Pickens getting here, the middle and the bottom guys had an opportunity to be a part of the big picture. But now that Pickens is here, the middle and the bottom guys fighting for their life. I thought it was interesting. I'll give you, give y'all a cool little breakdown on all that. Don't go nowhere. First of all, before we get started, download the Bleacher Report app and tell a friend to download it. Thank y'all for watching. Go to the Cowboy tab, NFL draft tab. All those tabs, I'll pop up on those. So be sure you're following those. You'll stumble into me at some point. But for the most part, be sure that you just follow me at Voch Lombardi, VOCHLOMBARDI, and I'll be right here to tap in and love y'all to pieces and give y'all some content to roll with for the day. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Central. All right. So now, Ceedee Lamb ain't did nothing terrible to nobody. All he does is he just kind of shows up. He plays football, ends up being a top 3 receiver in the league. He breaks Cowboy records, doesn't get in trouble off the field or anything like that. So you don't really see a bunch of Cowboys outraged with him. I know Ceedee Lamb sat out towards the end of last year's offseason. He sat out the entire offseason, and it got done right before camp, right before the season. And you could tell that, Ceedee wasn't the same Ceedee coming off of that lack of training camp, right? Now, Ceedee before that, when he was breaking records and Dak was having his MVP season, which wasn't that long ago, like an all-pro type MVP season, which wasn't that long ago, Ceedee Lamb was Teflon. I think a lot of people had questions about Ceedee Lamb's toughness and all this kind of stuff. But Ceedee Lamb played through the nonsense last year. Dak being hurt, Cooper Rush throwing the football and missing, and him kind of having that shoulder injury that he had to fight through, right? Ceedee Lamb is back. But Ceedee Lamb's probably been like the most Teflon type wide receiver one that Cowboy fans have seen recently. There was a group of Cowboy fans that didn't like Dez Bryant. I was around. They didn't like Dez Bryant. They say he couldn't run. They didn't want a wide receiver that couldn't run. See, he's not a blazer neither, but Dez had his time. Like T.O. had his time where people was like, I don't know if I like T.O. I don't think I like T.O. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody kind of had their time where they just wasn't really feeling the wide receiver one in the building was. Ceedee Lamb, I haven't seen a hate mob towards him yet. The most I've seen from him is I've seen people say Ceedee Lamb's not a true wide receiver one, that he's just more of a high-end receiver too. Say whatever you like, man. It is what it is. Do your thing, player. I ain't gonna fight you. I ain't gonna fuss and fight with you. What typically happens that hasn't happened yet is if you have a Ceedee Lamb and he just got paid, he's been around, and maybe Ceedee Lamb breaking all the Cowboy records a couple years ago means something. But I haven't seen the hate mob come after Ceedee Lamb now that Pickens is here, right? And it's clear that, Pickens is going to have his fanfare. He's going to have his group of people that follow behind him, which is okay, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? Pickens having his peoples behind him, right? But what I thought was going to happen is I thought people were going to try to pull down Ceedee Lamb to try to raise up George Pickens. I'm pleasantly surprised at Cowboy fans that everybody kind of getting along with this duo, with this tandem of guys. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it has to do with once upon a time the Cowboys had a big 3 at receiver, like not too long ago, with Cooper, Lamb, and Gallup, right? There was this big 3 at receiver that Cowboy fans really wanted to dig into. Now, if Jalen Tolbert can be close to what Michael Gallup is, and that's cool. And look, not Michael Gallup, like right before Michael Gallup retired. I think Jalen Tolbert's better than that Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup back in the league, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But like there was that 1 year where like Michael Gallup had like 1,100 yards. Let me look up Michael Gallup. Let me look up Michael Gallup's that 1 year he went stupid crazy. Michael Gallup game logs. What was that one year Michael Gallup just went out there and went stupid and it changed his life forever? Oh, he went to watch football Wizards. Yeah, he gonna get cut. Gallup gonna get cut. Let me take a look at the stats here. Gallup in 2019 had 113 targets, 66 catches. We missed half of them. I guess it's pretty normal, I guess. 66 catches for 1,100 yards in 14 games, by the way. That was 14 games. Now, boom, boom, boom. And 6 touchdowns. Can Jalen Tolbert get that? Let me see what Jalen Tolbert's best year is. Jalen Tolbert. Let me see what Jalen Tolbert's best year is. We just doing a little exercise, ladies and gentlemen. We just going over some numbers. Jalen Tolbert's best year was last year. And in 17 games, Jalen Tolbert got 49 catches and 610 yards and 7 touchdowns. So he outscored Gallup, but with 3 more games, he only got 1 more touchdown and like 500 yards less than Michael Gallup, but significantly less targets as well, targets and catches. So if you're Jalen Tolbert, do you think that you can get him to that top tier Gallup mode or whatever? And I think most Cowboy fans will tell you
it's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction.
I think Cowboy fans will tell you that if you ask them, hey, can Jalen Tolbert get to that peak Michael Gallup 1,100 yards, 6 touchdown year? I don't think Tolbert can be that. George Pickens can be that for sure. George Pickens can be a little more than that for sure. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing that we've been talking about in Cowboy land, look, when I say we, I mean them, not me per se, not me, but like them. One thing we've been talking about in Cowboy land is what happens if George Pickens goes out there and he out-stats Ceedee Lamb in some type of way, right? If he out-targets, out-catches, what if he gets more yards than Ceedee Lamb? I think it's totally possible that George Pickens can get more touchdowns than Ceedee Lamb because George Pickens is a touchdown guy. He's a red zone guy. Of course, he can get more touchdowns than Ceedee Lamb. And most of Ceedee Lamb's production, not his skill as a receiver, because his skill as a receiver still is top tier, but a lot of his production relies on Ceedee Lamb. The amount of targets that he got that one year. Let's look this up. Damn. What was that Ceedee Lamb year? That all pro year. Look at this goofy. Oh, this goofy ass year right here. Ceedee Lamb had 135 catches. Damn. 1,700 yards. Yeah. And 12 touchdowns, boy. What a year from Ceedee Lamb. Boy, if you can't go all pro after a year like that, I don't know what to tell you. But look, even his last year, which is fine, this half Dak, half Cooper Rush year, 101 yards, 101 catches, 1,100 yards, 1,194, almost 1,200 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That ain't bad with Cooper Rush and half a year with Dak. All this relies on Forrest staying upright, right? But Ceedee Lamb with his 135 catches or whatever, which is plenty, so much. I can make the argument that Ceedee Lamb got that many targets because he was the only guy here that was worth them targets. He was the only guy here that was worth them targets. Let me look up Jake Ferguson 2003 real quick. Jake Ferguson 2003 real quick. That same year, Ceedee Lamb got 1,700 receiving yards. Jake Ferguson got 761 on 71 targets. Okay, cool. I think Jake's gonna be that for the rest of his life. I don't see Jake getting into the thousands unless Ford goes out there and do something stupid ridiculous, right? Here's the big question. Will George Pickens take opportunities away from Ceedee Lamb? Not only is the answer yes, but he should. No. Ceedee Lamb Ceedee Lamb getting 134 catches is absurd. It's madness, ludicrous. You don't need Ceedee Lamb getting 139 targets, right? If you just simply took 39 of them targets, man, take 39 of them joints and give them to George Pickens, and then kind of let George get in where he fit in or whatever. Man, let him fly. Let him fly. Fly, little pelican. Because what you want George Pickens to be relatively as good as Ceedee Lamb is. Relatively as good as Ceedee Lamb is, right? Because they're both these wide receiver 1 type cats. Or these wide receiver A, wide receiver 1B type characters, whatever. You want these guys to be both up here. You don't want Lamb to go back to being 1,700 yard guy and Pickens only getting 800 yards. If anything, you want to bring Lamb down to about 1,500, 1,300. I think 13 to 15 is perfect for Lamb. 13 to 15 is splendid for Lamb. You want George Pickens to get up into the 13s as well. So if you can get 2 outside receivers that's getting anywhere between 12, 13 to 15 yards, 100 yards, that's when you win. That's when you win the party. So now you got 2 12 to 1,500 yard receivers. You got Jake Ferguson getting around 7. We ain't even talked about Jadon Blue catching his little 300 yards he might get, his little 250, 300, 400 yards he might get. You know what I'm saying? Schoonmaker may get 100-something yards by the end of the season. Brevin may get 100 and something. Regardless of what your run game is, the passing yards are going to be there. The passing numbers are going to be there. You know what I'm saying? And if you Jalen Tolbert, you just get to run around with free coverage with the weakest DBs you've ever seen. Jalen Tolbert had to play last year getting the bulk of what cornerback 2 looks like. Sometimes what cornerback 1 looks like. And Jalen Tolbert had to be successful within his system or whatever. And Jonathan Mingo would have the same type of, deal with him, is that he'll have to deal with those guys relative to who they are. Bro, you take Tolbert and Jonathan Mingo, you take both those guys and let them line up against if we line up against let's say it's the Eagles, right? We're lined up against the Eagles. The Eagles are the week 1 team. Week 1 team Cowboys playing against, right? You can only imagine that Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Like, first of all, those guys run around with Ceedee Lamb and George Pickens. That's already, that's already something that I feel good about. That's already something that I feel good about, just matchup wise, right? So I don't think that the Eagles are going to opt to put a cornerback on Jake Ferguson. I don't think that's what they want to do. If anything, they may cycle some coverage over in that direction. But either way, you would have to assume that Jake Ferguson is going to get busy on his own. Like, Keely Ringo's going to come in here. You know what I'm talking about? Like no matter what team you run against, before long, they're going to start running out of guys. They're going to start running out of guys to cover you. You know what I'm saying? And lucky for us, we're not running out of wide receiver bodies. We're not running out of bodies that are able to catch passes like that. So if anything, we get to sit up and play find the scrub with y'all. We get to sit up here and play find the scrub with y'all. Good luck to you. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. It's VOCHLOMBARDI, man, up here on Bleach Report. Shouts out to the Bleach Report app. Y'all be sure to follow me on the NFL tab, NFL Draft, and NFL and the Dallas Cowboys tab. I'll be popping up on each and every last one of those. And y'all follow me on Twitter and YouTube, VOCHLOMBARDI. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woes, the Peace, the Weezy. Y'all catch y'all next time, all right? Peace.